Here I want to talk about the basics of form in 3D space using a sphere. Well, why a sphere? Spheres can be used for the basis of a head. So I think spheres are a perfect starting point. Well, circles might be a little hard to draw for some people, but we can start with that. What I recommend doing is not drawing a circle painstakingly slow like this. I recommend ghosting a little bit. It's called ghosting, where we sort of run the track of our circle without pressing down on our tablet or piece of paper. And then in one swift motion, with this circle, we're going to put what are called contour lines over it. Now, contour lines are lines that wrap around an object. So, since a sphere is a 3D object, where its surface is constantly changing direction, a line across it isn't going to look like this. It's going to look more like this. Right? Now we can use two contour lines to demonstrate or illustrate where our sphere is pointing. For instance, we can do like something like that, and then something like this, and now we can see that our sphere is pointing from this little point. It's pointing like this direction, almost. It's pointing upwards to our left. Now, I would recommend just drawing a bunch of circles, bunch of spheres, and make them point in all different directions. Now, this may seem intuitive, this may seem a little easy, a little pointless, but something like this is really important to just have down in muscle memory without even having to think about it, right? Because when you're drawing a head, you don't want to be worrying about what direction, your sphere is, or your head is pointing. You just want to have it down pat so you can do it sort of without any effort at all, right? Now we can see this is pointing this way. You can make one pointing like, I don't know, this way by going like this and like that, and let's put it like that way, right? I recommend doing a few of these without trying to add any facial features on. It's pointing that way. The area where, we have our vertical line, this is where the front of the face would be. And we have this big extended area without the vertical line. Like, we see how this is sort of in the front. And now we turn, and now we're at the side of a sphere, right? This would be the side of the head. Usually it's recommended to draw not from your wrist, right? I mean, I don't have a camera on my hand right now, but this would be drawing from my wrist, where I'm really have my elbow and shoulder locked in, and I'm only moving my wrist to draw. We don't want that here. We want smooth, fluid lines. So I'm really, when I'm drawing right here, I am moving my whole arm. And that's how we get smooth and fluid lines. All right, I mean, that's okay. And then we can make, I don't know. Let's say it's pointing down like that, okay? Now, this line. Actually, it might be really helpful to explain what both of these lines really mean. So if we start with a circle, our vertical line shows, I guess, our movement of the head from side to side. Like a vertical line like this, straight down the middle, is a head looking dead on. If we curve it to the right, again, contour along the surface, not like this, like this. I'm sorry, this is the left. It's pointing towards the left, right? Our head is pointing in this direction. Again, if we do it towards the right, our head is looking towards our right. So the vertical line indicates, left and right direction. Now, as you may have guessed, our horizontal line shows if our head is looking up or down. So if we put it dead center, right, that would be at eye level. But if we curve it up Again, contour, curving it. Our head is looking up, and same thing, curve it down. Our head is looking down. And we can mix and match these. Mix the vertical with the horizontal to indicate any head tilt at all. Right? We can make it look towards the left and slightly up with like this, or we can use our vertical line to make it look towards the right and our horizontal line to make it look, I guess, down a little bit. Something like that. So I advise you to play with this a lot and really get used to it. Make it intuitive. You don't want to just watch this and just try and understand it. You want to really get into practice, right? Because there is a difference between just knowing it and then being able to draw it without thinking. And I fell into that trap early on. I would watch videos and be like, oh, I get it. And then when I try it myself, I'd fail miserably. But that's all part of the process. Actually, that, I didn't even intend that, but that's cool. Once we have that in our toolbox, we can start thinking about where facial features may be. Right? Let's just say we've got a head like this. Okay, cool. We're looking towards the left, sort of at eye level, maybe a little bit up, or I guess we're kind of looking up towards this sphere. Because if you can imagine it in your head, we can see sort of the bottom of the sphere, but we cannot see the top, right? So because we can see the bottom of an object and not the top, I'll demonstrate it with the little cube. That means that we are looking up at it. And similarly, right? If we had a head like this, where we could see the top like this, but not the bottom, then that means that we are placed above the object. Similarly to this cube, right? We can see this top face, but we cannot see the bottom, right? We can only see these three faces. That's another thing you really want to get into your head. Okay, now, once we have this, we can sort of visualize where the facial features would go. So along this line, as I think I've been hinting to, this is the eye level line. So you can make little dots for eyes. Quick tip I want to mention is foreshortening. Now, this is not a foreshortening guide, but this eye, since it is closer to us, so it's going to be bigger than this eye, which is farther away. And that is a general principle of foreshortening. I encourage you, I don't have a video on it right now, so I encourage you to look it up and research. So, little nose, little mouth, and yeah, right? So this is looking towards the left, so the facial features are on the left side. Similarly, this little sphere, if you can call it that, right? Eyes, nose, mouth, looking down. Nice. So again, want to draw your circle. Draw your circle and draw contour lines, right? With the vertical being the left or right direction of the head, and your horizontal being the upward tilt or downward tilt. So I encourage you to practice this a lot. Just start drawing spheres. It is really simple. You see, I'm doing it. It's taking me like 15 seconds for each one, if that. I'm like drawing a circle. Cool. This is more towards the center. Cool. So do that. For a little bit of fun, we can try and draw a little more advanced face. zoom in a bit to get that circle a little bit better. Okay, that's okay. That's okay. And let's do a tilt like this. So we're sort of looking up, it would appear. If you saw my other video, I gave a simple instruction on some of the parts of the face. Nothing in depth, I just wanted to get all my thoughts out there. So let's take a few of those principles and try to apply that here. Again, remembering foreshortening, everything on this side, because it is closer to us, is gonna be bigger than everything on this side. So, like I said, we can start with the eyes, and this line shows us where the eyes are going to be placed. Okay, we make our upper eyelash. Get that to point in towards the iris. You can make the iris circle. Add in the pupil. Add in the upper, or not the upper, the bottom eyelid, I guess you could call it, which is going to be accentuated because we're looking up, right? If you're looking down, if this character is looking down, the top eyelash and eyelid will be more accentuated. But now, again, we can try and keep this in balance, right? The height of this eye is going to be relatively the same. It's just the width is foreshortened, right? Upper eyelid, iris, pupil, and bottom eyelid. Right? Our nose is going to go on this line, on this interline, goes our nose. Leave a bit of space, not too much space. We can make a little smile. Maybe a little bit more. And our chin is going to be about here. We can sort of extend everything out. Our face is significantly smaller than our whole circle, but that's okay. Right? All right. Now, I don't expect you to be able to do this. If you can, that's really cool. But I just wanted to show how, right? These spheres aren't for nothing. If I didn't draw that sphere, I would have no idea how this face would be, or how this head would be positioned in this angle, right? Because that vertical line acted like a mirror, right? I just mirrored what was on one side on the other side, and the horizontal line showed me where the eyes were gonna go. And now, right, I can take liberty with this and maybe plotting in what the hair might look like. That would go more closer to the eyes. Right, this is the side of our hair, which I explained in another video. The sides, right? This would be the bangs. The bangs over the sides in this view, and right. This isn't really part of the tutorial anymore, but it's fun to see how everything lines up and acts out. Yeah, so again, practice those spheres. They come in handy so much. And develop your sense of 3D space.